and good afternoon. It is Friday, and that means it is time for our regular Lunch and Learn. Now, today's going to be a little bit different. Normally, when you see me on a Friday, you see me, I'm talking about a report, I'm holding a report in my hand, I'm giving you all the kinds of stuff that I think is very important. But today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I do have a report, but I also have experience. And so you're not going to be seeing me because I'm going to turn my screen and show you something else. But what we want to talk to you about today, because today is Valentine's Day, and of course, we always think about love and the heart and that kind of thing. And so I want to show you today something called, and it's not all that exciting to look at, but the results are really exciting. Today I want to talk to you about the heart rate variability monitor. Now, this is what it looks like. It doesn't look like a whole lot of anything, right? You plug it in. I've got a plug that goes to my computer, and I've got software that goes with it. And then we've got these cute little jumper cables, and you put water on the metal plate, and you put it on your wrist where your heartbeat can be felt right there. And you've got a positive and a negative, just like your car. You've got a left and a right. And so it doesn't look like a whole lot of anything, but let me just tell you, this particular one, the brand name is Dynamica. I don't know if I said that right. It's Russian, and it is very expensive, and there is just a whole lot that it does. And so you might not know what heart rate variability is, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to show you, and so it's kind of be like a little show and tell there. So most people will track their heartbeat. They know when their pulse is racing. They know when they miss a beat and that kind of thing, but they don't necessarily know what their heart rate variability is. And heart rate variability, they measure, you've got P waves, M waves, R waves in your heart. Okay, I don't want to go into all of that. But the heart rate variability, it measures the difference in your R rate. The more variability you have, the healthier you are, the more resilient you are, the longer life you're going to live, and all that kind of thing. And so we're going to show you just some neat things that heart rate variability can tell you. So heart rate variability is recognized as a valuable intervention for depression, anxiety, PTSD, and more. All right, it used to be on the fringe, but it is becoming more and more accessible, and it's becoming more and more mainstream. In fact, I read when I was doing some research on this years ago that the United States uses heart rate variability monitors when it is monitoring the astronauts at the International Space Station. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. So a heart rate variability monitor reflects the subtle changes in the timing between each heartbeat. While heart rate indicates how fast your heart is beating, HRV tracks the rhythm and variation between the beats, much like noticing the pace of each step versus merely counting them. Similarly, walking speeds, everybody has a different speed that is normal to them. So basically, what a heart rate variability monitors is your autonomic nervous system. Now, your autonomic nervous system has to do with digestion, heart rate, mental status, all those kind of things. And so when we're measuring these things, we're getting a really good, complete measurement of your health. Now, the one that we use does 600 different algorithms in your brain. I don't know how it does it. I love the tool. I love what the tool tells me. But this is something that's really powerful when we are looking at health. And this is something that we can do a heart rate variability baseline. We can put you on a protocol, and in 60 days come back and look and see where you are, and it's a really good indication of whether your protocol is working or not. And so that's one reason why I like it. It does measure, as I said, your autonomic nervous system, which is not something that you can control other than just breathing and lifestyle changes. So if you have a good diet, if you have good rest, if you have good stress management, then you're going to have a good heart rate variability. So it's not just a fitness scanner, okay? It's not just a fitness metric, but it is an important indicator of physical and mental health. High HRV typically indicates strong, adaptable cardiovascular system, while a low rate is an early warning of potential health issues. So we have tools. We have all kinds of tools. And Ben is asking about this. This is a scanner. I love this scanner, and this is really good to give us a metric, a measurable metric of the carotenoids in your skin, which tells us how your antioxidants are, which tells us how strong your immune system is. This, one of my people call it jumper cables, right? This tells us what your body is doing with those carotenoids and that kind of thing. So I'm going to turn my screen and show you a bad report, okay? I'm going to show you a bad report, and then I'm going to show you a good report so that you can see the whole range of what this tool can do. And so it's very, it takes about 3 minutes because it counts 300 heartbeats. So depending on how fast your heart beats, you know, your time could be a little bit more, a little bit less. If you've got a really slow heartbeat, it's going to count 300 heartbeats, so your time's going to be a little bit longer. But we're going to say under 5 minutes for sure. What we want you to do is we're going to put the jumper cables on your wrist, and you're going to sit in a comfortable position. You're going to breathe normally, and you're going to blink your eyes normally. First time I did it, I was at a conference, and somebody wanted to do it. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm game. So I got in a comfortable position. They put the jumper cables on me, and I just sit there and I close my eyes like I'm going to pray or meditate or whatever. Because what could you do, right? You can't move, you can't talk. I mean, that's my whole thing. Whoop, I lost the earbud there. Anyway, she said, don't close your eyes because it's measuring 600 algorithms in your brain. And I'm going, who has 600 algorithms in your brain? But anyway, that's beside the point. So I'm going to turn this and show you, again, we're going to start with a bad one, okay, because this is how most people come in. And I'm going to show you a good one, and then we can talk about a little bit more, okay? So it's going to take a minute to change focus, so just bear with me here. Okay, so let's see if I can do better. That's pretty good. Okay, so here is your first screen that you would have with an HRV. Here, this is your heartbeat right here. And here, this is the, it's called a wave pattern. As you can see here, this is pretty static. And this is somebody who does not have much variability in their heart rhythm. It should look like a wave. I'm going to show you something next time to show you. These pink spikes here, this could be when somebody moved, or it could be that they're having an irregular heartbeat. That's something that, you know, if you move, you can do that, but otherwise. So this is the cardiovascular adaptation here. It's 18. This goes from 0 to 100. The closer to 100 you are, the better you are. So this is 18. This is the autonomic nervous system regulation. That's 17. This is overall comprehensive. This is 19. Now you're going to see this blue line, and you're going to see the red line. The blue line is what is normal for this person's sex and age, and you can see that's about what we expect for this person, and this is an elderly person. This is hormonal. Neurohormonal regulation, and then this one is psycho-emotional. So you've got 20 and 23 out of 100. So you can see this person is really, really low on their HRV. So what does that predict? That predicts not a long life, and that predicts that that person might be headed into a sickness and disease pattern. And here actually is a picture of the heart. What we want it to look like is this. We want it to look balanced like this. You see this has about 6 or 7 different frames of reference. Here we only have 4. So this is a very static person, someone who is very stuck. This right here, we want this to be between 0.20 and 0.35, and it's 0.17. So what this tells us is there's just a lot of stress on the heart. Here is a picture of the stress. We want this number, 499, to be between 10 and 100. And we want the pie to be like this, a third, a third, and a third. All right, so you see this person is under extreme stress. Down at the bottom here, this person, we want the number to be between 35 and 145, and this person is at 499. And you look here, this is disrupted balance of the autonomic nervous system. Now, it's not as bad as this one, but this is not a good picture. This is what we're wanting, this blue right here. That means every system in the body that is something that we rely on. How do we breathe? How do we digest? How does our brain function? All the things that we can't control, right? How many hormones are we making? How many enzymes are we making? What's going on with all of the chemical processes in our body? We don't really know. Well, this is a picture of what's going on with that. Here is the neurohormonal regulation. We want it to look like this, almost all white with just a few little blue dots. Here, this person is over here at 20. Disrupted neurohormonal regulation. That means their brain waves are not working right, their hormones are not working right, and this person is under a lot of stress. Here, this is their metabolic balance. They are making 22 units of energy, but they're spending 40 units of energy. Here, this big fat pyramid right here, this is what we're wanting. I'm hoping you can see the cursor in this. So this is what we're wanting right here. This is where we see right here. This is very, very poor, and it is even just very low, very slow metabolic rate. So what that means is this person is just not able to do what it needs to do. Here's your psycho-emotional state, okay? We want this real pretty blue brain right here. This is what we want. This person is at 23, so this is where we are right here, which says central nervous system is in a state of moderate stress. Not chronic stress down here, but moderate stress. This is not something that we want. And here are all of our neurotransmitters, and we want everything to be in the green. And you see it's in the blue, the blue, the green, the blue, the blue, the blue. So the neurotransmitters are just not doing what they need to do. And down here, the brain, these are the two different brain waves that we have. Here is a very tired brain right here. Here is what we want your brain to look like. Lots of activity in the alpha, beta, and high beta or gamma here. We don't want all of this. This is a very tired, very sick brain. So when you're doing this, you can get a real picture of, is this person depressed? Is this person in a state of anxiety? What's going on? This is probably my favorite screen. This is where this person is. This is 18, which is, it really should be here, but actually this is 17,333 right here. This is what we want, which is maximum biorhythm coherence. Here, this is a 80-year-old person. Their body thinks that they're 79, which is good. We really want it to be a whole lot better than that. But this is where that person is. So this is called the gerontological performance curve. 80 years old, but the body thinks that it's 79. So this person has been seeing me. Now this was a few years ago. This person had been seeing me for about 4 months, and so we had made some improvements. So I think the first scan he had, he was just a lot older. Here, what we're looking at is how do we match up to optimum. This is optimum right here. Just like Trivial Pursuit, you've got your pieces of the pie. This person is just not doing well at all. Here, down here, 19%. Here is 3%. So we improved from 3% to 19%. I'm not seeing the date there, but it's probably 60 days. So this person, minus 16%, he was doing 16% less than people in his age group. Over here, when we did this, he was perfect for his age group. But we had been working with him for several months. Here, all of these should be 5. Here are your minerals. Here is your inflammation index right here, right here. He was over 1,200 before. Now we've got him down to 910. We want you to be over here at 75. So this is an inflammatory index. These are your minerals, and these are your hormones and your thyroid here. So we want everything to be right in the middle where there is green. And you can see that it's just not quite like that. Here, this is traditional Chinese medicine, okay? We want all of these pieces of the pie to be green. And you can see we've got some blue, stagnation. We've got some red, moderate deficiency. And we've got some yellow, mild deficiency. And if you look down here, total power is 482. We want the total power to be here, 1,000 to 5,000, all right? So this person is having just a whole lot of trouble getting things to work the way they need to. Here, traditional Chinese medicine, again, we want it to be right here in the middle, which we are. We've done so much better than how we were doing before. You can see it's way over on the yang side. Here, we're right in the middle. So we've done a lot of good work with this person. So this is something that's really exciting. Here, this is the, it depends on what your philosophy is. Some people will look at this and say this is a new age image, but really what it is your endocrine system. And so when your endocrine system is doing what it needs to do, then all of your energy centers will be lined up and all 5 stars will be lit. Okay? This is your heart. The heart connects the brain and the thyroid, and then it also connects the lower part of the body, the gut, the adrenals, and the sex organs, okay? So you can see when we started, 2% now up to 22, 1% up to 22, 3% up to 20, 6% up to 17. So you can see that we've made just a lot of improvement here, and so this is why I love this tool. It'll also give you the proper Ayurvedic diet and that kind of thing. So I wanted to show you, this is somebody that's just not doing great. I want to show you somebody, and this is mine, because I am the best example here. And this is my heart rate variability. 98 on cardiovascular, 91 on automatic nervous system, 90 on comprehensive peak. Neurohormonal is 83 and 90 on psycho-emotional. And I will just tell you, this was done last year. Last year was a very challenging year for me. You can see here that for my age group, I should be where the blue is, and I am way over here. Now, I do have some, arrhythmia, for lack of a better word, on my heartbeat, and that's okay. But you can see this wave pattern here, this wave pattern, right? Very much more of a wave pattern than what we saw before. So what does that mean? That means the space between my R waves is very, very flexible. And so that means that if I'm going to come up against a challenge, if I'm going to come up against any kind of stress, my heart has that variability that I'm not going to die of a heart attack. The one that we saw earlier that had almost the straight line, like a picket fence, that person, when faced with a challenge, is going to have just quite a bit of trouble adapting to that. And I will tell you that that other one that we looked at, that was a picture of a cancer patient. Here is my heart doing perfect. Remember, we have all of these. I'm perfect and I'm perfect. Stress index. Now, my stress, I told you last year was really kind of a challenging year. We want it to be like this, a third, a third, a third. I am way sympathetic dominance, and I live in sympathetic dominance anyway. However, I know how to manage that, and you can see this is what it's supposed to look like. This is optimum. I'm better than this, but not quite this. Okay? My stress is good. My color's good. My SDNN number is good. My vital force is good. I'm in the green. Even though I'm in quite a bit of stress, I'm doing really well there. Neurohormonal, this is where I am at 83. 83 is the top of this one. I'm almost at optimal, okay? I'm almost there. And look at my pyramid. My pyramid is a big, fat pyramid, okay? Still, though, I'm making only 203 units of energy, and I'm spending 212, all right? So that's something that we need to kind of pay attention to, but because I take good care of myself, I'm still within norms, even though, you know, probably if I had not had such a challenging year, things would be a little bit different. Here is my psycho-emotional state, and I am at optimum, all right? My brain toxicity is very little. My intracranial pressure is very little. And you can see that most of my brain activity is in this area here, okay? It's not as good as that, but we don't have all of this over here. Okay, does that make sense? So you can see that my brain is doing really well. Here is my biorhythm coherence. This is where the other person was. This is where I am. And this is what I love. 66 years old, but my body, my biological age is 36 years old. So who's not going to love that? So if your biological age is only 36, what does that mean? That means you're going to have a longer life because your body thinks it's younger. It doesn't have all the problems of an older person. It doesn't have all the stress of an older person. So this is my absolute favorite screen on all of this because it just shows what you can do if you treat your body right, if you take the right supplements, if you take the digestive enzymes that work, if you take the vitamins that work, then you're going to have this kind of a picture. So it's very measurable, which is what I like to see. Here is your optimum piece of the pie. Here is my piece of the pie. I am doing 64% better than people in my age group. All right? Which, of course, that's what you would expect with a holistic practitioner, but I digress. Here we are with the hormones and the minerals. I'm all over the place, but my inflammation index is very, very low, so we're glad about that. You can see that I have some stagnation, and I've got some deficiency with the yellow and the red, but you can see here I'm in the green. I'm in the green down here. This means that even though things are not perfect in my life, and as I said, last year was a very challenging year, I'm able to have that bioadaptability because of what I do for myself so that I'm still operating the way that I'm supposed to operate. Here is the, I am not balanced with traditional Chinese medicine. I am very much in the yin, okay? So I need to work on that, and I did. Here are my endocrine centers, which I've got 5 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars. So I'm doing fairly well on my hormones, and so this is kind of what we want to see. So that was a lot, all right? So what do we want to learn from this? We want to learn that if we can look at our heart, look at the variability of our heart, that will tell us a lot. Are we depressed? Are we under too much stress? Is our autonomic nervous system doing what it needs to do? Are we staying in fight or flight? And you can see from mine, even though my numbers were really good, I'm very definitely sympathetic nervous system. So I have to, on purpose, slow down, rest, take a break, multiple breaks, because I tend to stay in that go mode, which is not good for anybody who is trying to stay healthy. But you can see with your variability of your heart rate, your R waves are different. They're not static. They're not the same. Okay? That's really important because that means that whatever life throws at you, you're able to adjust. You're able to make those concessions that you need. me, I know I stay in go mode, so I on purpose shut down, take a break, all that kind of stuff to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. When I got this scanner 3 years ago, I was taking vitamins. I was taking high dollar vitamins, and I was taking a lot of them because I believe in holistic health. But when I did my scan was not great. And so what did that mean? That means that I was not digesting properly. I was not absorbing properly. So if you don't digest properly and absorb properly, you're not going to have the results on the HRV that we saw today. So what did I do? Because I, work smart. They told me, this company told me, Pharmanex told me that if I took their vitamins, that within 90 days, my score would be better. And I will tell you, when I first scored, I scored in the yellow. So the score goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Okay, I think there's 6 colors. When I first scored, I scored in the yellow. And it was like, I take too much herbs and I spend too much money on supplements to score in the yellow. So I changed and took their vitamins, and within 90 days, I was in the purple. And that made a believer out of me, because if it can happen for me, it can happen for you too. And so I just want to give you information. There's a lot of metrics that you can do to monitor your health to see where you are. Checking your antioxidant level here is good. Checking your HRV also is good. Minimally invasive. On the scanner, you just put your hand on the laser for 30 seconds. Here, we measure your heart rate and your variability for 3 heartbeats. It's not intensive. It's not something that you got to take the whole day off and that kind of thing. And yet it tells you a great deal about your health. Now, I want to show you one more thing, because I told you earlier that if we breathe properly, right, that it can help us with our heart rate variability. So I'm going to put it back over here. Okay. I'm going to go back to this screen. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't done this in a long time. What screen is it on? Here it is, right here. So you can click on this button here. Now you'll see on that, it was a 5-minute breathing treatment. So you've got melody, you've got the little bubble that expands for inhale, collapses for exhale. And so what that does is it gets your breathing into that deep breathing that helps your autonomic nervous system. And so we give you tools. We can give you a diet with this. We can give you a breathing treatment with this. It tells you what kind of essential oils are good for where you are. And so there's just a lot of information, all because of the way your heartbeat and the variability there. So I hope that was exciting for you. I hope that was interesting for you. And you want to find somebody to do this. Of course, if you're in the Humble, Houston area, we can do that for you. You just have to let us know that you want to do that, and we'll be happy to do that with you. And I hope you've learned a lot about your heart, because your heart is special, and it is Valentine's Day. We want you to live a long time. We want you to be really healthy. Take care of your heart. If you take care of your heart, then you will have a lower biological age. All right. The lower your biological age, the longer you're going to live, and the healthier you're going to live. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, share, and I will see you again next Friday. Have a great Valentine's Day. My finger.